Devonte Smith is on record saying that he shows up in the biggest games of the season, and to him, it's like any other game. And what is the proof on that? In college, in 2017, in the national championship game, he caught the game-winning pass in overtime. And then in 2020, in the national championship game, he set the record for 12 catches and 215 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns. 2 biggest stage games of his life. I know this is the NFL and now the Super Bowl, but 25-1? Welcome back to the Discipline Degens podcast. I'm your host, Matty Betts. I'm here with the biggest Degen I know, Gino Bet Openly. We're here recording the last NFL episode of the season. Feels like just yesterday we were talking about our preseason future bets. Unbelievable season it's been.
I'm jealous that you have a dog in the fight. My heart hurts still. What I will say, I'm pretty proud that you picked the NFC team, homer or not, and I picked the AFC team.
We did.
That makes us look kind of good. We kind of know what we're doing, man.
Everyone doubted the Chiefs. They were looking at the Chargers and all these other teams, and the Chiefs were still that consistent team even without Tyreek. So been a hell of a season, though. Been a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
So a couple things. If you're on the YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe. Brand new channel. Also, one thing I want to ask, a lot of you guys listen to the audio on Apple and Spotify. Please, if you have 2 minutes, actually, if you have 30 seconds, drop us a review or a rating.
100%.
We greatly appreciate that. Quick Discipline Degens member spotlight. Our boy Wes in college basketball, 17-9 last week with his picks, 32-16-1 in the last 2 weeks.
Insane.
If you're a Discipline Degens member, those are under the members play tabs. So keep an eye out for Wes. Big shout out to him. And then last but not least, a quick algorithm shout out. Gino's algo, 38-27-1, up 9.5 units to start the month, over 30 units to start the year. And I believe that's 5 of the last 6 months. That's profit, $1 a day if you like to join. And if you want to get in before the biggest betting game of the entire season, make sure you go to disciplinedegens.com, $1 a day to get in and get the picks for the Super Bowl. You want to give them a little insight on what you're looking at for the game?
Yeah. And let me just say, too, randomly Bet Openly had some reviews, and we got a crazy amount of organic searches on Google for that. Mm-hmm. So homies out there, we don't beg, but we appreciate. Literally, y'all wanted a YouTube. Matty worked his ass off to put that up in 2 weeks flat. Anything you do is to follow, and leave a review. It helps our reach get out there. The larger our reach, the more resources we have to bring you better picks, bring you better content, etc. It's all organic. So I hope that's helpful. And then, I'm gonna give Maddie and I are gonna go through a bunch of props on this. This is gonna be you only can pick the team and over under so many times. We're gonna give out a bunch of prop bets, and then I'll also tell you, Algo on the day of the Super Bowl is probably gonna have no less than 10, more like 15 props for people in DD. So let's feed, my dude.
I love it. So first things first, what I want to go over, everyone keeps saying this to me. I'm hearing it as an Eagles fan a lot. But everyone's saying the Eagles have had the easiest path to the Super Bowl. Not in recent history, but ever. True or false? What do you think?
Recency bias is a terrible, terrible thing about social media. We forget everything else. I think you have had one of the easiest routes to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Let's think about what these Giants were. Mm-hmm. I mean, but they beat Minnesota to be there, but then everyone made fun of Minnesota, right? So it's okay.
Yeah.
And then, my dudes, how many times do you get to the Super Bowl without beating a quarterback? It was 7-7 when Josh Johnson went out. It's hard. I don't know. I don't know enough of history to say ever. Yeah. But it feels easy. Does that make you nervous?
No, so it doesn't make me nervous, but I do agree that we've had an easy path. So I'm not going to be a biased Eagles fan in denial here and say oh, that's bullshit. I'm a realist at the same time. So it's been easy, but at the same time, The Niners still had a great defense. They still had a great coaching staff.
Yeah.
Like, it was unfortunate what happened, but we did cause some of that. The Giants game was a division rival, and they were a hot team. So
You crushed.
and then in the regular season, let's be honest, like we had a light schedule for sure, but we've also beat some really good teams, and then we beat teams convincingly. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Is like people don't talk about like, yeah, you can have a light schedule, but if you're dominating teams and you're winning 14 games, like,
Yeah.
so that's just something to think about.
I would say too, on the flip side of the negativity of that,
Yeah.
your dudes are rested.
Yeah.
Your dudes are healthy.
It seems like both teams are rested. I just saw on social the other day that apparently there's not a single injury on the Chiefs injury report. You see that? Like as of today.
Like, dude, and they had tough games.
Yeah.
But they won them. Like, dude, it's nice to see. I hate injuries. I hope there's no injuries in this game. I think we're getting the best foot that the Chiefs can put forward and the best foot the Eagles can put forward.
Yeah, I really do think we have the best two teams in the league, so I think it played out that way. But there's a big elephant in the room. I need to ask you this. A little birdie told me that you might be switching your pick. Is that true? Are you now on the 40? Are you now on the Chiefs?
I am. I'm sorry, Maddie. This is my closest thing I had to Chiefs colors. Not really. What I'd say, I went back and looked at your last loss. I'm that sick because I'm so mad that my Niners didn't fight or compete or whatever. That New Orleans game is what has me staring at this easy route to the Super Bowl. Because you all had something to play for in that game. And their defense, in my opinion, New Orleans defense is better than the Chiefs. So that's telling. That's why I was so excited about our matchup. Mm-hmm. I don't think the Chiefs are going to be able to stump you, and this will kind of feed into some of my plays on props. I think the Chiefs are going to have an easier time scoring against your defense than a lot of people are talking about. And I was very happy at my predictions on how the Chiefs would fare offensively versus Cincinnati.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, let me ask you this. We double Travis Kielce and we stop the run. Do the Chiefs have any chance? Because, I just don't know how they beat us, bro.
yeah, no, I mean, I've watched the Chiefs. I've watched their question. They still have some receivers that had names at one point. I think their second and third, their first receiver, aka Travis Kielce, but I think their receivers are going to be able to run across the middle and slant and stuff like that. And I actually think there's going to be jet and stuff swinging out of the backfield. I think they're going to get points. I'll say it. I'm sticking to my over. I think the best bet in the Super Bowl is the over. But value-wise, I'm going to take the Chiefs' money line.
I mean, it's MVS, Juju, Cole Hartman,
I get it.
we have great corners. Yeah. We have to be smart about Travis Kielce. There's no doubt about it. We can't get cocky and try to go man to man with him or single coverage. But I don't know, bro. I'm sticking to my guns. Again, I'm gonna say this 100 times. I'm getting deja vu on this Super Bowl. I think my Philadelphia Eagles are the Seattle Seahawks when the Denver Broncos face the Seattle Seahawks in the Super Bowl. So the Chiefs are the Broncos. My Eagles are the Seahawks. We have a great secondary. We have a great run game, and we're going to be way more physical, and we're going to win this game by double digits.
My biggest bet's going to be the over. So if the over hits, I'm up money on the Super Bowl. Anyone out there, Maddie and I are disciplined Degens, but I also degen out from time to time. I'll even though this is one of the squarest bets and games of the year, I'll still bet 3 to 5 units on the Super Bowl. That'll probably be on my over, and then I'll probably have 1 unit on the Chiefs, maybe 1.5 units. And then everything else under props wise. Well, basically what I'm getting to is if the over hits, I'm profitable in the Super Bowl. My profit will all depend on the over, and the other stuff is more entertaining when you and I are sitting there drinking, having fun, yelling at the TV. It's like sprinkling. It's like when you're at a blackjack table and you bet will it be like the king and queen matching? I don't even know what you call those things.
The bonus.
Bonuses. These props will be bonuses, but let's dive in and get you some actual.
So let me ask you an initial question because I keep seeing this on social. The spread's 1.5 right now. I think it's going to stick. I think the line's now sharp. Like, I think it's moved a good bit. I don't think it's going to move much at all, if anything. I think the line's going to stick at Eagles minus 1.5. If you're a Chiefs bettor, do you prefer plus 105 or do you prefer the 1.5? And if you're an Eagles bettor, would you even touch? Because I'm talking on a regular sports book.
Yeah.
But this is a valid question because
I understand what you're asking.
The Eagles minus 1.5, minus 110, or do you take the money line at minus 125? Me personally, like, I'm not paying an extra 15 cents for the chance the game's going to land on 1 point. So I want to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I'll explain it two ways. So one, on the other side, if you're talking Chiefs, plus 1.5 at minus 110, or money line at minus 105.
Yeah.
Is that what it was? No, plus 105.
Plus 105.
15% variance for a 1.5.
Right.
I take plus 1.5 on the Chiefs.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, just because a 1.5 is worth way more than 15. That's all. Like, if you're just talking about like the likelihood of it being involved.
Another thing to think about, and this is like, this rarely ever happens, but it is a Super Bowl and a game can't end in a tie. Whereas like a 1.5 points is a little bit more valuable in a regular season game.
No, I don't. I actually, you just brought up a great point.
Yeah.
Do they just keep playing for?
I don't know what the rule is. I was just thinking about that. I was like, am I stupid for not knowing that?
No, they probably just keep going with the
I would
same
imagine
rule
it's just a second every time.
Then, yeah, exactly. That'd be wild. That'd be jaw dropping. I think we'd hear scripted for the next 9 months.
Yeah, no, exactly.
But no, I want to actually show you guys some love. So too, one of the squarest bets I like is Mahomes.
Hold on, you didn't answer. So if Eagles, Eagles better, you're taking the minus 1.5 though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy that up to money line.
Right, because you're paying an extra 15 cents on the dollar for the money line.
The likelihood, and I wouldn't. On the flip side, I would take the 1.5 just because. Yeah. Let me give you a more direct answer because the books lines and all that will move. Mm-hmm. I would give up plus one. So if I had plus 1.5 at minus 110, I would give that up if you gave me plus 110, a 20% variance on the money line. Mm-hmm. The 105 is just not enough for me. That's all. It's where I draw the line. So it's really close. It's 5 points away.
Right. So on Bet Openly, whether you take the Chiefs plus 1.5 or the Eagles minus 1.5, you're going to get even money on that, right? At plus 100. And then if you're going to take the money line, you can get the Eagles at minus 115. That's 10 cents better than a book. If you're going to get the Chiefs on the money line, you get it at plus 115. That's 10 cents better than a book as well. So betopenly.com, if you guys are listening, make sure you go make an account before the Super Bowl. Now let's dive into some player props. I got some crazy fucking player props in here.
This man did his research.
That we're going to look at here.
I like some of these Degens ones too.
Yeah, so I want to read this first one off. And maybe I'm a biased Eagles fan for this one, but I'm thinking about sprinkling on this. Jalen Hurts to have 30-plus rushing yards in each half, plus 650 odds. I'm sprinkling. What do you think?
Bro, I'm talking about a whole unit on that. That's nasty to me. So I'll get into the whole breakdown of the game.
Yeah.
I actually think the Chiefs' defense does better against Philly than everyone gives them credit for against the pass. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to learn a little from what the Niners did.
Yeah.
I think the Eagles are going to be run first. I think you're going to take control of the game with the run. And I really like this bet. Like, degenerately, you would never see me go a unit on something plus 650 because it seems so square and it seems so obvious. But the reason I'm okay with it is I actually believe, and when I say script, I don't mean the psychopath tinfoil hat script.
Yeah.
I believe the Eagles are going to try and control this line control and keep Mahomes off the field.
Yeah.
I think they're going to run the ball. And Jalen's rested, my dude. Mm-hmm. He didn't need to run against us. Why even bother? So
he really didn't.
Everyone's seeing his crazy low numbers. Mm-hmm. He didn't need to run against us.
No, I do think it comes down to the game script and, like, does he need to or not? You know, because he's capable. I mean, what did he have?
And so don't hate me.
Yeah.
I do think if the Chiefs go up 7-0 early or 10-0 early and y'all are going downfield, the Chiefs are going to be susceptible to runs.
Yeah.
By Jalen. So this to me is I got a Degen bet too, but this is my favorite Degen bet of all the ones you pointed out.
Yeah.
So you can take credit for this one.
Give me yours.
Mine is tie at half. tie at half and then the Chiefs win, or tie at half and then Philly wins. These numbers are everywhere. Just so you know, it's usually in the upward. It sounds crazy. It's usually upwards of 12, 15, sometimes 20x. I think this one, because it's very low spread on this game and they're good teams, I think it'll be low enough that like it's only like a 12x or something like that. But again, I'm going to be drinking seltzers by the gallon, cheering and yelling at the TV. I want Jalen to run a lot. And the fun part about this bet is whatever one team does, you then just jump and you're cheering for the other team to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Like if the Eagles get a touchdown, I want the Chiefs to get a touchdown. If the Eagles get a field goal, I want the Chiefs to get a field goal. It's Degens shit. There is not ROI on this. This is not EV positive shit, but that's what this is. I will be giving all those bets out on DD.
Interesting. What do you think of this one? Hassan Reddick to get the first sack plus 300.
Is it the first sack of the game or the first sack of his team? Okay, yeah. You said plus 300?
Yeah, and this dude's had like how many sacks this season? I mean,
yeah. So the only thing I would say, this goes back to, like I said, like just don't bet the favorite with the Bills at the beginning of the playoff. I would say if you like those kind of bets, go one underneath him. Go with the second person under Hassan Reddick.
So for the Eagles or in the game? Because for the game, it's going to be Chris Jones for the Chiefs at plus 550, which I actually like that better. I feel like, you know, if Jalen scrambles or something, like he can get caught. But
he's trying to run.
And the odds are a little bit higher on it.
So the reason I actually don't think Mahomes is going to be 100% and he's going to be very afraid to take a sack. So I do like the Chiefs to have the first sack. So I would say my official answer, nothing against Hassan. He's a freaking hog. I would say Chris Jones first sack would be pretty nasty.
All right. I got to get your opinion on this. And I didn't even prepare this. I just looked at this now.
Shit.
All right. Here we go. Devonte Smith right now is plus 2,500 to win the Super Bowl MVP. And hear me out why I kind of like this. Devonte Smith is on record saying that he shows up in the biggest games of the season. And to him, it's like any other game. And what is the proof on that? In college, in 2017, in the national championship game, he caught the game-winning pass in overtime. And then in 2020, in the national championship game, he set the record for 12 catches and 215 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns. 2 biggest stage games of his life. I know this is the NFL and now the Super Bowl, but 25-1?
25-1's nice. So for a receiver to do this, they got to go off, right?
Yeah, 2+ TDs.
The only thing I don't like about this is how low.
And they're gonna be focused. They're gonna be focused on AJ Brown.
Okay.
Bro.
The only thing is I wonder if they will, because AJ Brown's a powerful receiver. Devontae's a break it receiver.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't hate it. The when we say value, I'm trying not to like use the hard terms, but the upside is there. Let's call it that.
Right.
The upside is there. If you forced me to take an Eagle, I think I'm Miles Sanders.
Let me ask you this. December 24th this year, he went off for 8 catches on 12 targets against the Dallas Cowboys, a division game on the road, big game, right? 113 yards and 2 touchdowns. If he has that stat line in the Super Bowl, he wins it. Am I wrong? 113 yards, 8 catches, 2 touchdowns. I think he wins it.
I think you're right if the quarterback doesn't hit the 300
All right,
yards.
so Jalen, this was Gardner Minshew.
Yeah.
Who had 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, and 350 yards. There's 2 picks.
The 2 picks would wash it,
So all I'm saying here is...
If you got 300 yards, though, and no picks, I think you take it. I don't know the threshold.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's tough.
But I'll tell you right now, I sold myself on it just now. I'm taking it, bro.
Do it. This is
to.
what it's about, bro. We've been
The
disciplined.
Slim Reaper, bro.
We've been disciplined for, 22 weeks?
Yeah.
We're going to give back our entire bankroll. No, I'm just playing. I like it.
Man, I'm really liking it.
No
right
hate,
now.
though. I like Miles Sanders 22X.
He is 22. Yeah.
Come on, dude. You guys get close there. Jalen's mobile. You don't want Jalen taking big hits. Miles runs it in. Punches 2 in. It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm just not like a crazy prop guy, is I do genuinely think with props, you have to figure out the game script before you figure out the prop, and that's tough.
No, man. I agree. All right, well, let's move on, but I am sprinkling on that.
There's some ones up there, too, the Pat Mahomes.
All right, Pat Mahomes. Yeah, Pat Mahomes over under 1.5 passing touchdowns. Now, the under is plus 180. What do you think about that? Against this Eagles secondary, right?
Yeah. It's super square, and I want y'all to. We'll make a pretty video for this, especially after it hits. He's gonna get 2 passing TDs, and one of them's just gonna be like a funky little shuffle, a little dash, a little Kielce running across behind there, basically playing running back.
Yeah,
that's the only reason I don't like it. I'm on the over here, so you're just not gonna see me on too many unders. Mm-hmm. I think we get fireworks. I think we got a really good Super Bowl on our hands.
What's the Super Bowl that he lost? What was his stats? I'm going to look this up real quick. So, in 2020, against the Niners,
he won. Yeah.
He had 2 touchdowns, right? Now, in 2020,
he didn't do shit the first
in 2021 against the Bucks, he had 0 touchdowns. And he only had 270 yards, and they pretty much got shut down.
I mean, the Bucks own them.
Right.
His 270 is like
that's yards. What's about to happen. All these people on the Chiefs and the over. The funny thing is,
are a lot of people on the Chiefs and the over?
No. We should have probably opened the pod up with this. The one thing that makes me nervous about this game more than anything is I'm seeing between 70 and 75% of both the tickets and the money on the Eagles. I did not think it would be that high. I thought it would be like 60-40. But, like, it is too high for me. And it's not going to impact anything I do, right? I already have a future on the Eagles, and I'm literally tripling down on it with more bets on them. Yep. But it does suck. Like, I would feel much better if it was 50 to 60% on the Chiefs versus 70, 75%. Maybe it's just a psychological thing, but that does upset me a little bit.
It comes down to, like,
especially because the Eagles thrive when people count them out. Like, Jalen Hurts is like the underdog story. Everyone said he couldn't even throw a damn football. Now, all of a sudden, they're in the Super Bowl against who everyone thinks is the best quarterback in the league, and everyone's betting on the Eagles. So it's a little confusing to me now.
What it comes down to me for, and why? So I for my partner here, Maddie, I hope the Eagles win. I got no love for the Chiefs. I remember what they did to my Niners. I get the Philly just knocked us out. Technically, we knocked ourselves out. It was done. I got no love for the Chiefs. So for Maddie's sake, I hope it hits, and I hope the game's high scoring. The only reason I'm betting the Chiefs, for anyone out there trying to understand why the fuck is this guy betting a unit on something he doesn't even truly care about, I think you're getting the Chiefs cheap. You hear me say this a lot. I mean this. The Chiefs beat some good teams to get there. They really did. I thought Jacksonville was playing really good football. I was impressed with what the Chiefs did versus them.
Yeah.
Cincy, their defense stepped up against Cincy. I just feel like the Eagles all season had an easy path and all playoffs. So they now have their biggest test. Of course, it's in the Super Bowl. Anyone could argue that the Chiefs have their biggest test ever. I just genuinely think this spread, if you just go back a week, 2 weeks, it was AFC minus 2.5. It was AFC minus 135.
No, you're right about that.
What happened?
Well, we saw it as
the Eagles.
We saw it anywhere from a pick'em to like -2.
But what happened? I'll tell you what happened
is
the Eagles haven't let people score at all, but they've done it in a very. People were, come on, man, they were hyping Daniel Jones up after one playoff win versus Minnesota, or actually it was the week before that.
Well, so if the Giants played the Jags, what would that spread have been? Because you're impressed with the Chiefs beating the Jags, who was a hot team.
The Jags would beat the Giants.
What would the spread be though, on a neutral field?
It's hard to say, but 4.
2? Okay. I mean, both teams were hot teams. Like both the Giants and the Jags.
Again, I'm giving you guys my bias. Someone's gonna be right, someone's gonna be wrong. My bias was be low on the New York Giants. The Seahawks gave them the business when it mattered. My bias was also be low on Buffalo. So when Cincy knocked him out, I wasn't crazy about Cincy. I instead bought on the Chiefs. So far, my biases have worked out. Mm-hmm. And my bias was I'm getting value on the Niners. I'm a crazy homer bias, but I genuinely believe there was value on the money line.
You know, the Giants did beat the Jags in Jacksonville this year, 23-17. They also beat the Titans on the road 21-20.
Yeah.
I mean,
That was a different. Although that was the first.
It was
half,
early
right?
in the season.
Yeah. They somehow changed. I don't know
They
what
beat
happened.
the Commanders in Washington 20-12.
Yeah, I don't know
They
what happened.
beat the Colts 38-10. I mean, the Giants had a good season. Like, I know they didn't show up.
Yeah. I mean, you guys dominated your division. It was the best division in football, right?
Yeah.
I just also thought my Niners didn't play good when we beat the Cowboys. I don't
Right.
think we played good at all.
Yeah.
But again,
For sure.
I don't want to take the wind out of your sails, brother. Let's get back to props.
Back to props. Head-to-head passing yards. Patrick Mahomes is minus 54.5 against Jalen Hurts.
I would go Mahomes on this. 2 reasons. I think Hurts runs this ball. I think he has a little more jitters than Mahomes. I know Mahomes. Again, this is this man's third Super Bowl.
It is crazy.
He's a young kid, but
it is really crazy.
He's gonna be sleeping like a baby that night.
Yeah.
Jalen's gonna be pacing his hotel.
Jalen's built for this. Bro.
I know, but he's gonna be flight red. He's gonna be fight or flight. He's gonna fly.
Yeah. No,
He's
I wouldn't be surprised if the first possession or drive, he had a little nerves.
He's gonna have a little nerves and he's gonna run.
Settle in, yeah.
Which is a great thing. I want him to run. I want him to run both halves.
All right. So speaking of running, over under 50.5 rushing yards.
Over.
Yeah.
I like Jalen to be mobile in this game.
Yeah.
My script is gonna be a quote unquote shootout. A nice game, 27-24. A nice game like that. Mm-hmm. And I genuinely believe people are too high on the Phillies defense. And I think they're too short-sighted and low on Phillies offense. The 31 scares me. They think that they crazy dominated us. Dude, they were getting the ball all over the place. The Niners weren't doing much. So I genuinely like the over in this game. I think you're getting value because of the perception that this Eagles defense is insanely good. And the perception that it's only a KC offense without a defense. I think that the Chiefs have a defense.
So Jalen went over 50.5 rushing yards 7 games this season out of what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
What did he miss? 2 games?
7. Yeah, so 7 out of 15.
Yeah, and he didn't need to against us.
Right,
he missed 2 for injury or 3 for injury.
He went off for 157 on the ground against the Packers.
Yeah, it seems like 50-50, but that's actually a good one to me, the Packers comparison.
Yeah.
Weather's going to be nice. I'm telling you, I think he's just going to have jitters and he's going to run. Nothing wrong with that.
I can see it. All right, here's the question for you. If you had $200,000 sitting in a checking account, if you had $200,000 sitting in your sports betting account, would you put that on Jalen Hurts or Patrick Mahomes to throw 1+ TD pass total between both them at minus 200,000 odds?
I cannot believe this is a bet. I cannot believe they offer this. This is greed and disgust. I don't know the math on how many football games macro have ever existed.
There should be a suicide. There should be a suicide disclaimer on this.
Yeah, bet. I just don't get.
You're literally a sports book is allowing you to bet 200,000 to win 201,000 total.
That's sick. What I just don't. How often does a game not have a starting quarterback throw a touchdown? And ironically, as stupid as this sounds, even though it sounds almost never, I don't even know if the math adds up.
The funny thing is it's not crazy to me if Jalen doesn't get one. If he runs 2 in and Miles Sanders runs 1 in.
Yeah.
But then Mahomes, you got to think it's dead from that standpoint.
I mean,
but again, last Super Bowl, Mahomes had 0 touchdowns.
Yeah, but Brady passed 1 in, right?
Brady had 2 or however many.
So that's the thing is you have this double at you got to get really. You almost need PIs to the 1 yard line and field goals.
Or some crazy shit. Yeah.
I can't believe they offer this. The books are sick.
All right, next up. Over under shorted for the shortest touchdown in the Super Bowl, 1.5 yards. Now, the over 1.5 is plus 120.
Plus 120?
The under 1.5 is minus 160. So their books are basically saying that it's very likely that there's a 1 yard touchdown.
This is one of those plays that it's like a boring bet, but you're hoping it's on the 1 and they punch it in. I actually would go over here. Yeah. I think we get fireworks. I think when the Chiefs and Eagles are on the 2+ yard line, they're going for kills, dude, and they put the ball in. So my bet is that the ball quote unquote, will never be on the 1 yard line.
Interesting. Yeah, one PI and you're screwed. You just
I know.
gotta hope they don't score.
You're hoping the refs hold the flags.
Yeah.
In a Super
Here's
Bowl.
one that blows my mind right now because I love this, and it's at plus 235 odds.
You're sick.
You don't like this? Will there be a successful 2-point conversion? Yes is plus 235. No is minus 310. I would bet yes.
Yeah, I actually like it as well. I guess the thing that I hate about it is the successful part.
That's true. But just remember the Philly special. The Eagles Philly special. We got the Chiefs. We have two aggressive offenses that go for two.
In a shootout, there's gonna be times to do this. The weather there's good, kicking all that jitter. Oh man, you know what would really burn on this one is if someone goes for two and doesn't get it.
Right.
That would hurt because you got two factors here. But I mean, at plus 235 again, this is Degens shit that you sprinkle, 0.1 units on, and you just laugh and you have hype and you're excited for that one thing to happen.
So the Philly special was actually on 4th and goal, so it wasn't even a 2-point conversion, but plays similar to that. I just feel like when you have both these teams, I feel like there's definitely gonna be a 4th down attempt, at least one or two. Not a 4th down, a 2-point conversion attempt, at least one or two. So I like. Now I hate the juice variance like plus 235, the minus 310.
It's criminal.
But I would definitely take yes at plus 235.
What I would say too, this is like almost an inverse of all the psychology of the rest of the year.
Yeah.
A lot of these favorite bets win. A lot of amateurs are looking for that high rip, that plus 630, that plus 235. Mm-hmm. That's all. There's a lot of little trap ones. I think the longest field goal is always one that people are like, oh, they just got to be within the 30. There's no way they kick a 50-yarder. It just takes one.
Yeah, agreed. All right, A.J. Brown receptions. I'm seeing it as low as 4.5 and as high as 5 on some of the DFS apps. Where do you lean on that one?
God, people are low on A.J. Brown, man. I think I love the over here.
One thing I will say is I had the over 4.5. He had like 3 or 4 in the first half, and he went under.
Yeah.
Because they didn't need to throw to him. It's all about game script with this shit.
I think they're going to try and get him involved early.
That's what they did against the Niners, because they didn't need to use him after that. But, bro, he had, look at the play-by-play, right? If you look at the first drive.
Yep.
First pass, A.J. Brown. One.
Do you have 2 catches on the first drive?
Yeah, it was like 2 catches and then a few it was like 2 more. He ended with 4 catches, I think it was, against the Niners because they just didn't need to throw to him anymore.
Yeah. I think they involve him, and again, I'm going back to my Jalen Hurts jitters.
Yeah.
I think they throw some quick where he lines up and he comes back 1 foot, gets a quick out to him, gets him touching the ball, gets the ball moving.
Yeah.
I like that. I hate these overs, but
right. I'm telling you, all I can keep thinking about.
This next one, man.
All I can keep thinking about right now is that Devonte Smith MVP.
Let's make it happen for you.
I know it's sick, but I just.
What are you? Are you going a full unit on MVP? Are you going that? Or are you going like sick, trying to triple your?
It's just in the back of my head for going into this podcast episode. I didn't even think about it, and I looked it up. I was like, wait a second, because I saw a clip earlier about Devonte talking about how he shows up the best in big games, and then I started thinking because you got to remember, I lived in Tuscaloosa when he was playing, and I saw this shit in person when he had these big games. So I just started thinking more and more about it, and I don't know. I'm like, we'll see.
I got one for you.
Go ahead.
Kielce Receptions, 6.5 to 7 to 7.5 some places.
Under. Nick Sirianni. Here's the thing that does concern me a little bit. Well, Sirianni's the head coach. He's not our defensive coordinator, but he is a little cocky sometimes. But we're not stupid enough to not. We have to double cover him.
6.5. Can he have 2 in a series? 2 catches in a series?
Let's pull up his numbers. I'm gonna
give me his reception total.
Yeah, because
the reason I don't like this one is only because I know the world is going to be on this over.
Yeah. All right, let's pull this.
The world is going to be on this man's over because he's been crushing it. So I do like a lot of Kielce's.
But at 7.5, taking that under, there has to be against the Bengals, he had 7 catches on 8 targets.
Okay.
The Jags, he had 14 catches on 17 targets. But then if you look back the last 3 games before that, 6 catches, 7 catches.
Okay, 6 to 7 is a fair line.
And you got to remember the Eagles have one of the better secondaries. Now, granted, we're really good against receivers, tight ends, but let me take a look at the rest of his game log.
I guess if you guys are stopping the run,
he had 3 straight games in the middle of the season with only 4 catches. He's had 4 or 5 games this season with 5 or 6 catches.
Yeah.
This number's actually sharp, bro. I
Under.
think he goes under, like, especially if you're going to give me plus money on it. I don't know if it's plus money, but no, if it's at 7.5, I would take this under because we're not going to let
7.5 minus 146.
We're going to go Bill Belichick on them. Like, if you're going to beat us, it's not going to be with your best player.
Okay.
You know?
I respect it.
So, we'll see. What else we got? All right. Hurts passing and rushing combined 296.5 over or under.
I don't mean to be cute, but I actually like his under on passing and his over on rushing. Mm-hmm. And I do think he can hurt them. I'm not saying Philly's not going to be able to score. My bet is the over.
Yeah.
Put my name next to the over in this game. I just think he's going to skip some of the passes he should have made and run. And he'll do fine running and picking up first downs. Mm-hmm. It'll be disheartening. I really like that original prop you gave out. I want you to give it out again.
All right, let me read it again. It is, if I can find it,
I think
Jalen Hurts to have 30-plus rushing yards in each half of the game, plus 650. I found it on DraftKings. You know how have you seen, you probably don't even look at this app because we're in Florida and you're in bet openly, but do you see how they just bait you to do shit? Like, these sports bettors, they don't even have to think for themselves anymore. They log into the app. It says, quick same-game parlay, Eagles to win, Gainwell 20-plus yards, Kielce to score a TD, plus 450. 8.3 thousand people have bet this. Over 8,000 people bet that same-game parlay. Then we have, this parlay is called The Chat Has Spoken. Patrick Mahomes, 300 yards, Kielce, 85 yards, Pacheco, 45 yards. 5,300 people have bet this, plus 425.
Man, I wish we
This
had
is
that
where
volume.
I found it, though. It's called the 1-800-CALL Jalen special. Hurts to have 30-plus rushing yards in each half, plus 650. And I'm sick because I like it.
I like it too. And I'm sick because it's up there because we know those don't hit. But I'll go even a little more bold. I think Hurts has 30 yards rushing their first series.
I mean, the crazy part is with his over-under at 50.5 and this at 30 for each half at plus 650, it sounds like
gives a shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
It comes down to the game script, you know.
I agree. I like it.
How do you not bet that?
I think he gets 30 on their first drive.
Oh, that'd be hype.
And then we're just cheering for the game to stay close.
I'm about to send this to my boy JJ.
Hey JJ,
Florida
plug us
problems, bro.
in.
I can't bet this.
Tell JJ we're gonna shout out to the homie JJ. We're sending you a rack, my dude.
JJ,
and you're driving down 63 hundo.
Taking the points. You got 1,000 on the way over Zell right now, bro.
You're coming back. We need you to drive down 63 hundo.
Oh my God, that would be a nice little lick.
All
right, what else you liking, bro? Any final thoughts on this game? I'm scrolling through, seeing if anything.
Yeah, if I'm betting this game through and through, and I'm giving out everything to everyone.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
What's your biggest sports betting advice for the Super Bowl? Like the novice bettor, someone who bets a couple times a year. Like, how should they think of how they're about to bet on the Super Bowl? Do
not take the favorite first half. The most impatient Degens will take the favorite first half. Take the Chiefs plus a half a point. Plus, I think it'll be a half a point. Take that half a point too, by the way. I like the tie at halftime. That tie at halftime, me having Chiefs plus a half, then I have the tie at halftime and it's tied, and that's live. Again, it's the long shot bet, but when you have the tie at halftime and a team to win, you have a legitimate old school Matty Betts hedge at halftime. You could take the opposite team for 5 units because you're getting 15-1. I think we have a tie at halftime. I think we have a close game. I think we have a high score. I like something cool like 17.5, something like that. And I like Jalen to run the hell out of the ball. That's what I think. And sometimes, just so you all know, I actually like first halves better when it comes to player props or when it comes to games because if you can predict the script, it stays that way. They come out with it and then they have to adjust based on what's happened. Mm-hmm. But I love the over in the first half. I love Jalen Hurts to rush a lot in the first half. And I really think you should be taking the Chiefs plus a half a point. Tie game up 3, whatever. And then getting a little more granular. I don't think there's going to be a crazy amount of field goals in the Super Bowl. I think we're going to see
Do you know what that line is?
I've seen it. I've seen it where it's like different numbers with different lines. So there's a bunch of different ones. But technically, I would go with the highest plus on the lowest option. So let's just say there was like a 3.5, 3 and 2.5 option. Go under 2.5 and take the plus money.
Yeah.
I genuinely think we're getting fireworks, and that's why Maddie gave you, although the odds and lines are gross, successful 2-point conversion. That's a fun one. I think these teams are going to have fun.
Let me ask you this. I know you're on the Chiefs now. Do you see any value on like an alternate spread line? Like, for example, right now you get the Chiefs at -3.5 is plus 154. You can get -6.5 plus 220. Would you ever consider betting on any of those?
I joke around. I call this gambling arbitrage because true arbitrage, you have no risk.
Yeah.
But technically, I wouldn't hate the bet of both teams -3.5. I'd actually go a little higher.
So
I'd
the
say
Eagles
4.5 or
plus
5.5.
So Eagles -3.5 is plus 128.
Yeah, not
Chiefs
enough
minus
for me.
3.5.
Is there a 5.5?
Eagles minus 5.5 is plus 162.
There you go.
Chiefs minus 5.5 is plus 200.
There you go. So plus 200, plus 162.
Yeah.
Just can't middle. I like this game to end by a touchdown. I believe the winner of this game wins by 7.
I really, right now, looking at Eagles minus 9.5 plus 280.
You're big on.
Ready for this
one?
one?
There's nothing wrong with 9.5. It's just that's one of those numbers that like you guys can be up 14 and win by 7.
Right.
That's all.
Eagles minus 27.5 is plus 1,700. This is a Broncos Seahawks.
Oh,
deja
so you
vu.
don't think it's a big game?
No, I don't. I think.
So give me some of your. You like the over under? You like?
I like us. I saw this already. Like I saw it. It was either a dream or a vision or something. But I just picture this, right? The Eagles running the ball. The Chiefs try to get a pass rush going. They finally get him in 3rd and long, and then Jalen uses his legs, and then the camera flashes over to Mahomes on the sideline, just frustrated because he can't get on the field. Eagles ticking the clock away.
That sounds like an under.
Dominating the line of scrimmage. I do like the under in this game.
Give me a final score.
I like Eagles in the under. So this is probably going to be different from what I said last week, but I'm going to say 27-10 Eagles.
27-10.
We're going to run the ball. We're going to frustrate the hell out of Patrick Mahomes. He's going to be sitting on the sideline pissed off.
I'll officially go 31-24. And for my homie Maddie's sake, I hope it's Eagles 31-24. Being forced to bet this, I will be on the Chiefs. I am big on Fade the Public. I'll be wearing my Fade the Public t-shirt.
Yeah. JJ texted me back.
Jay said
he
it's
said,
in.
laughing my ass off.
It's
interesting bet.
I love
great.
it. What else you want to cover? I mean,
that's pretty much all I got on the game. I know you want to talk about bet openly announcement, so I'll turn it
yeah.
over to you.
I just want to tell you all we had a great NFL season. We grew 1,300% thanks to this guy next to me. I don't know if I give him enough credit, but he deserves all of it. A lot of times I'm head down on the site, and Maddie keeps us promoting, marketing, making the site better. This punk made me add 4-team parlays. They hit. People love them. I've gotten a bunch of compliments.
I love hosting them, bro.
I hate it. Then he's been bugging me. So we have our NFTs launching Super Bowl weekend. 3 Solana, $75. It gets you access to 50% of the royalties, free bets, discounted juice from 10 to 50% less. Super cool concept. We're going to be building a bunch of shit. Trust me, I hate the scams. I hate the safe moves. I hate the bullshit projects. I'm attaching this to our legitimate business. It's a chance for you to own a piece of Bet Openly. Secondly, from all that noise, why I'm excited is after we do this, we had to add wallets. We had to go in this decentralized Web3 space. I won't bore you guys with that shit. A lot of it's over my head. Why it's important? In March, Maddie's getting what he wants. He's getting prop bets on Bet Openly. We're going to have prop contests to start. So, 3 to 10 people picking 3, 4 to up as many as 10 player props, higher or lower on them. It'll be a bunch of fun. You guys get that player prop action with none of the bullshit juice baked into sites I won't name. Secondly, we're going to have DFS. It's really cool when you have DFS in a pool setting. You also can do head-to-head. So you can pick entire teams. So that's going to be super sick in March. And then in April, I can't say the state yet because it's not finalized, but we will be adding a house-like option in one state to test this out. It's going to be funny. I'm going to give it a red button. I hope you don't use it. I don't want you to use it because it has more juice and shit like that. But a lot of people complain that, hey, man, I love bet openly, but there's certain bets I want to get in. Mm-hmm. So I will come better than the books. But, again, there's risk. There's people with skill that can do this. So just know that we are having a crazy 3 months. February's NFTs, March is props and DFS, and April is the ability to place bets. I think I'm going to call them instant bets, where you click the button and you can shop it to the market, or you can click the instant button and it instantly fills. It's just not going to be 1%, guys. There's people out there like myself, humble brag, and like Maddie, that can profit off 1%. So we would get drained. So it will be more of a traditional model. But again, y'all want it. We're building it. You don't have to use it. Ironically, I'm going to build it and then make videos saying, don't touch this red button.
Yeah, no, you got to give the Jets what they want, bro. That's the reality of it. Like, so it's like respectable that you want to do the right thing, but you also have to give them the right thing and then allow them to do what they love to do at the same time.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the way I look at it is you're at the end of the day, you're going to give them a better alternative that saves them money. So the player props, bro, if I see it right now, like if people are putting the against the house option in, or like the 2-team or the 3-team, like the prize picks model, just imagine people doing that, and then people like me or other people that hosting them.
Yeah.
It allows people that love hosting parlays to get some fun action in on player props, and then it allows all these bettors that get a better return than they're betting on all the DFS apps. So I just think it's a no-brainer.
And what I really hope, to Maddie's point, is, and I won't dwell on this forever. I'll keep this tight knit. To Maddie's point, the reason that pushed me over the edge was I had really good dudes that are like, bro, you've saved me so much money. I'm a profitable gambler. Yeah. And I'm still running over to sites for certain things.
They're going to do it anyway.
And then they said, I'm on there playing blackjack. I'm doing all this stuff. So I was like,
yeah,
honestly, this is stupid. I'm driving them away.
Yeah.
I should just build it. And then I'll encourage peer-to-peer. I'll encourage it to stay in. Yeah. I'll tell them, like, if I'm you and the game's in an hour, don't click the instant button. Let people shop it around at better lines and odds.
Right.
And then 5 minutes before, go back and hit the instant button. So again, this won't be the last time you hear about this shit.
Yeah. It removes a lot of the work for people too that don't have the time. Like, it's one thing, like if you want to bet like I always tell people, like, bet openly, and then if it doesn't fulfill in the last few minutes before kickoff or tip off, like, just take it off and then bet on a book. But now with that option, it gives you the ability to, like, let it fill either way. So you're going to get better odds than you would normally, or you're just going to get the same worst case scenario. There's no better method than that,
And we got a bunch of good dudes that have asked me to invest in Bet Openly. And the reality is I'm trying to decentralize Bet Openly. I want Bet Openly to share the wealth. That's why the host parlay exists. I don't want to take them. I want Maddie or you or anyone that wants to be on the more disciplined side. And then 2 steps deeper, these NFTs, you buy them for one price and you hold them. 50% of every month, the revenue generated from NFTs, people that are Bet Openly users will now win free bets. Remember, I'm not a house. I can't give you free bets like the houses can that are baiting you into these freaking terrible parlays. But with this, people will be like, damn, I save money on this site. I get free bets on this site. I have free futures on this site.
Yeah.
And then more and more people will get involved. We'll expand it so there's more and more owners, and the decentralization snowball will start.
For sure. I love it. All right.
It'll be exciting, my dude.
Good luck to everyone out there that's betting on the Super Bowl this weekend. Thank you to everyone that's tuned in for this NFL season. We started this podcast literally week 1 of NFL, or right before week 1 of the NFL, and it's grown tremendously. So we appreciate all of you guys that have tuned in and listened, and good luck on your bets this weekend.
And I guess I got to say it for the homie, fly, Eagles, fly.
Fly, Eagles, fly, baby. I love it.
Good luck, my dude. I can't believe how jealous I am.